But I don't wish to still pay for that. I need to go cancel. I just forget until it charges me. I'm like, ugh.
So you can pay that, but you can't pay the deuces though.
What are you talking about?
Remember that email list? It's all like, you are broke. Did you forget again?
That card is canceled.
What is it for?
Or expired.
Is it for the website? No,
It's
I'm paying for the
link
I'm paying for
tree.
the dump. Yeah, exactly.
I gotta switch the card. That card expired.
All the links I be posting, it's all like, oh, just go here.
It's all page not 404. Page not found.
These niggas are broke.
My bad. I forgot that card expired. Wow. The Deuces emails used to come to my phone, so I need to check on that too, why they're not coming.
If you're saying used to, that means they got tired of sending emails. I'm like, oh, it's cool. She handled it. No, they handled it.
I'll fix it later tonight.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I just gotta switch the card. Oops.
One job.
I have more than one job in this, okay? Are you ready to start? We've just been talking for...
That's the whole show.
I mean...
Us talking.
Do the intro.
What's up? I'm Z.
Actually, I'm Z.
I was Z first.
It really doesn't matter. I'm the better Z. And we're here to spill our tea. And if you don't want to hear our tea, then deuces.
Deuces, the name of the show. Let's get into the tea.
I haven't done that in a while.
Don't bring that back.
I haven't done it
in a while. We're not bringing that back.
We're not
bringing that back.
Listen, it's another one of those days where it's close to my bedtime at 7:40
8 p.m.
So your girl's tired. My day started at 4:30. What do you want from me?
Well, then maybe we should get into the tea.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Cardi B Offset drama. Are you up to date on that?
I'm sure I'm not up to date, but I've heard of it. Something popped in one of my feeds, and it was like, Cardi being Cardi. She was all like, y'all ain't tripping. Then when you be saying something, when you talk about your cookies now, you got your cookie in somebody else's mouth. They don't want to start tripping off of stuff. And I'm all like, when they break up? Like, I didn't even know.
They broke up a few times. Offset,
but they got back together,
Cardi
right?
5 million times.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And this time, everybody feels like she's actually done, just because of the cadence and the tone and the way she was talking on live. But so she's on live and she's going off.
Right. Yeah, she was on live. And then he commented.
And he commented and was like, you F somebody with a baby and you tell the truth. And then she tweeted response to that and said, and did, in all caps. And it's just like, the thing I want to talk about in this is all the men online tripping off the fact that she had sex with somebody while she was pregnant. Meanwhile, Offset literally cheated on this woman about 5 million times, and y'all don't care about that?
So this is a literal 5 million with one person, or he just like spread around?
It was not with one person.
It was like 1
million. There's a whole timeline
with 5 different women.
They've been together since 2017, I think, and he's cheated on her the whole entire time with multiple different women. And now Cardi had sex with somebody while she was pregnant, and they want to flip out because she was pregnant. First of all, that also brings me to my question. If there's a single woman out there who was pregnant, because we don't know if they were separated or together, because I heard they were not together, but she was pregnant. She's like, well, I'm going to keep the baby because he's the father of my other 2 kids. So, they have more kids? Yes.
Okay.
So it's like, if she's single and she's pregnant, she can have sex? Like, that's crazy.
That's a double standard. Any way you look at it, if you're going to be out there having premaritals, okay, all right, how can you turn around and try to hold somebody to a standard neither one of y'all is living to? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are, I guess, post-maritals because they were married and then he committed adultery. Are they still married legally while this is going on? If so, then she's also committing adultery, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that, you have voided the contract of marriage. Stop playing games. You obviously don't want to be married to each other, or y'all come back together and work it out. But for people to weigh in when I think it's public knowledge at this point that he cheated on her, and be all like, oh, what? I think it goes with a double standard.
Yeah.
And
I mean, some of these men
how
are
else can you
on
look at
Twitter
it?
like, oh, y'all hoes always, blah, blah, or females. I'm like, but when
True.
stuff be coming off about
And
Offset,
also
no, like,
men as well. Like, yes, people are out here being people. You know what I'm saying? It's messy, which is why it's better to abstain. Hallelujah. And this is what I mean when I say, if we're real with it, the Bible is practical. Because check this out. If we were out here practicing abstinence, how much drama would be cut out of your life? Think about it. You have ownership issues. You feel like you own somebody because you have now, shared their body. You've shared your body. So now you feel like there's ownership. So now if somebody else comes, automatically it's a threat. Like, oh, hold on now. Now it doesn't even have to be the relationship, the nature of the relationship, but it's all like, no. I've imprinted on them. They are mine. And there's some truth to that. But honestly, it's like there's some truth to that, which is why you hold off on that until you're married. Then it's all like, that's correct. We belong to each other. But everybody's playing house. So now you have all of these issues and everybody's weighing in like, oh, what's justice? What's the justice? How many months? How pregnant was she when she?
We don't know how pregnant she was when she did it.
I'll say this: when I was in the military a long time ago, there was this girl that came up and talked to me, and she was pregnant, but she was cute. I was all like, shoot, she cute. I don't know. Does that mean something because she's pregnant? Obviously, she's not with the. Well, it's not obvious she's not with the father, but I don't know if she was with the father or not. But she wanted to holler at me. We did it because I was shy, but she was cute. I mean, I would have. Well, I got a number, but I never called. That was kind of like. It
sounded like you said we did it.
The thing. Didn't. We didn't. We did not. So.
Because it's not what that sounded like.
What that felt like until, I got married. Then I was like, oh, this is what it feels like when they're pregnant.
Gross.
But it's not gross because that was post-marital. That's consummation.
Gross, you're my brother. Well, there was this post that had every Offset cheating scandal.
Your brothers had sex. I have kids. Like, hello. Amen, marriage.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see it. But I just think, I don't know, men like to hold women to this like standard, and it's just so annoying on the internet. It's like,
what's the standard?
She did it while she was pregnant. Oh, she's a hoe. She's a this. She's a that. But Offset literally cheated on her at minimum 10 times. And y'all have nothing to say.
I mean, I don't know how many times it was, but once is too many.
I saw a video. Somebody was saying that, because I guess while she was on her live, I was trying to find it. She was like freestyling a song about it. And somebody was like, I think it's just all cloud. She's about to have a new song come out and about to get back together again. Blah, blah, blah.
Maybe. That's it. That's the pattern, isn't it?
That is the pattern.
That's his kid. The third one. While they've been cheating.
Her. He has kids with other women. So
he has kids with other women after he was married?
No, before.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not better, but it's better. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I just think I want to talk about that. And then the other thing I want to talk about, I know you said you didn't watch it, but the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives TikTok MomTok situation. Hold on. Let me tell you why and what it's going to segue into. Because are you even familiar with the whole situation?
I saw a post on YouTube, and it was talking about these Mormon chicks who were posting these TikToks, and the guy was like, allergies. This really doesn't, you're sniffing all up into the microphone. It's going to be great to edit that out. And I don't even know if I'm edit it out. There's a lot. Anyway, the guy was like, fault. They're not even like representing true Mormonism. They're not being like Mormons are. And I was like, I mean, I'm not a Mormon, but yeah, if you're going to be Mormon instead of saying, oh, this is new Mormonism. No, just be whatever it is you're going to be instead of trying to hijack this brand and then say we're like the bad girls of Mormon, because there's such a thing. So I saw that post and was like, now they're gonna have a show coming out, and they're gonna just be doing, I guess, risque stuff, but they're supposed to be Mormon women or something like
So let
that.
me tell you what happened.
You're shaking your head no, but what? It's gonna be the same thing. Go ahead.
There's a huge part that you have no idea about.
Like, there was some drama too between some mothers and wives.
There's a girl who started it, and yes, they're Mormon, but she started it with a different group of girls. And their whole thing was like not trying to liberate Mormon women. I feel like that's too dramatic of a phrase.
That's what it seemed like.
But basically trying to be like, hey, like we're Mormon, but we can have fun. Let's loosen up. We shouldn't be so tight. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it.
Yeah, that's
but anyway,
the same thing. Liberation.
So Taylor Frankie Paul is the main girl. She was married.
Taylor Frankie Paul.
Yes.
This is her real name.
Yes.
Taylor Frankie Paul.
Might be her married name. She's divorced now. Anyways.
Interesting.
Her and her husband, they were on TikTok. She had this whole MomTok thing. They had a group of friends. Turns out this whole group of friends were soft swinging.
Swingers, yeah. That's what they talked about that on the thing. Yeah.
And they ended up catching feelings.
Supposedly.
Or whatever. All those couples that were soft swinging together are all divorced now.
And they met up outside of the swinging arrangement, and then people were mad at her. That was in the video.
And the other wife, who was also swinging, leaked it out that that's what happened. So she goes to TikTok and she tells the whole story because everybody was coming to her page and being like, you're a cheater, you're a homewrecker, you're a husband stealer. And she was like, actually, we was all doing all this together, blah, 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 blah. But the whole reason I'm thinking about this and what it brings me to is they grew up in the Mormon church. A lot of them were each other's first since they were kids. She had said her ex-husband had never had really drank alcohol or partied till he was 29. And so they were all kind of experiencing these new things because they were all probably together since they were like 16. So it just got me thinking of religion and growing up in church. No matter what the religion, you're really just taught sex is bad, don't do it. That's literally all you're taught. And then you get married and you don't even know how to do it, which a different wife was talking about on the show with her mom. She was like, you never even talked to me about it. Like, my wedding night sucked because I didn't know what to do. And then, and then she backtracked. She was like, well, it didn't suck. It was just, and I'm like, you already said it on national TV, girl.
I wasn't even thinking from that aspect.
Too late. You said it. And well, and that one's husband is gay on the low anyway, which is a whole nother thing. But it's just like inexperience, I feel like, leads to all these different things.
Like
sorry,
what?
I'm distracted by my kids freaking out.
Inexperience leads to what?
The inexperience leads to, oh, we're all drunk for the first time. Let's make out. Let's do this.
So you know what I mean? With sex, you just mean inexperience with certain
things.
With
everything. I feel like inexperience also leads to getting pregnant early. I was thinking of all my friends in high school who also grew up in church who ended up pregnant early. I got pregnant early.
What is getting pregnant early? I just feel like even saying that
early, out of wedlock, whatever you want to call it.
It was
teenage.
It was an unplanned pregnancy.
Teenage.
It was an unplanned pregnancy. Because there is no getting pregnant early. It depends on, like, if you're freaking 18 and you're getting married. If you're 16, whatever, and you're getting married, and that's it. That's not an early pregnancy.
I disagree with that.
That's a young pregnancy, but it's all like, this is it. Like, if we're going back to the days, right? Mary, mother of Jesus. She was like 16. And the culture, it wasn't like, oh, we're going to be together now, and then we're not going to be together. Nah, you get together, 16, this man is going to take care of you for the rest. You don't have to worry about nothing because he's going to take care of you.
I disagree with
he's going to
that.
have the cattle. I'm saying this is what the culture is.
Okay.
All right. So 16, you're now betrothed. Now the culture was you're a woman. You don't do A, B, and C, but the man is also going to be there to take care of you. That's what it is. The man's going to do whatever, and you're going to be here being taken care of. You know what I'm talking about? Raising the kids, da. So at 16, you're betrothed. Now you get married, you have kids, and that's who you're going to be with forever. At the same time, there was some, was it polygamy? Which is all like, whoa. So then there's also situations where a wife is considered property. No one cares for Mary and Joseph, but there are people in the Bible, usually they were like kings and stuff like that, where they're like, oh, they racked up concubines or whatever. But I'm saying to say pregnant early, it suggests that there is a certain time for you to get pregnant. I don't believe in that. I believe in if you plan a pregnancy, then you plan the pregnancy within a nuclear family.
That's your belief. I 100% believe in getting pregnant early, and 16 to 20, I feel like is too early. 16 to 25, I feel like is too early. But, you know.
So why do you feel like that?
Because as someone who did it twice, you're not ready to be a parent at that age. I don't care if you are married. You're not ready to be married at that age. As someone who has friends who got married at that age and it was a train wreck.
Here's what's crazy about what you're saying, and this is not even a joke. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but with just seeing the movie, The Wild Robot, and talking about parenthood and talking about being ready, whew, that movie got so many layers. Movie of the year. All right. It's like your age doesn't ready you or qualify you or anything like that as far as parenthood goes. The fact that you're a parent is what makes you ready. There's other outside things that have you believe, oh, I should give the child up for adoption. I should do that. I should do that. So it's all like, yeah, you probably should wait until you mature to a certain age to have kids. But your body's equipped to have kids before people were having kids earlier ages without being domesticated and all civilized, without degrees, without going to school, and everything was fine. So to be all like, this age to this age is too early, sounds like that's based on your experience. In your experience, you feel like you were not ready. I would even argue on that because, I mean,
that's
look at your journey and look where you are now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's because I am who I am.
And your go-through is your go-through. So somebody else
I
getting
literally
pregnant,
just
like,
said, my opinion is 16 to, I feel like 21.
For you or for anybody? Any woman?
I don't think anyone should have kids at that age. Obviously, they do.
That's what I'm saying. How can you say you don't think anyone should? You say, for me, my experience was this. But other people have different experiences.
It's still just my opinion. People are still going to do it. It's not like what I'm saying is law. But I want to go back to the whole point that a lot of religions do not equip youth or have proper sex talks or anything like that. It's just like, don't do it because it's a sin. Don't do it because it's wrong. And then that's how a lot of people find themselves in situations where they are finally experiencing alcohol and they're like, let's all make out because we've never kissed anybody else. Let's all do this. Or ending up pregnant in high school and or shortly after.
I agree. I don't know if it's just religion, but I would say the little cultures that have to do in a religious culture where it's all like, we don't know how to talk about it, so we're not going to talk about it. That's what I advocate against.
Mhm.
Like masturbation, that's a thing. You should talk about that because it's a thing that happens in life. Or it doesn't happen, but it's something that will come up. You're going to grow up, your body's going to go through changes. Sex is a gift from God that should take place in marriage. That's the original design. And if this is what you believe, why wouldn't you talk about that? And if you make it seem all like, oh, well, sex in itself is bad, excuse me, the Bible, first off, is littered with sex. It's littered with adultery and people doing it the wrong way. But then you got the Song of Solomon. And that's not the relationship with God and the church. Ew. No, it's not. That's a relationship between a man and a wife, like enjoying sex in the marriage, how it should be. Like, yo, like you fine. I like your breast. I like how your lips feel. You know what I'm saying? That's there. It is all poetic and it's all romantic. So it's how it should be. Other people, secularly, will sound romantic, but when we're talking to their wives, like Music Soul Child. If you actually listen to the lyrics of Music Soul Child, as sultry as it sounds, he'd be all like, it's okay, we're not married. It's okay, we're not going to talk tomorrow. Let's just do it for like tonight. And I'm all like,
what song is that?
That is crazy. It's like, I got to look it up. But I can still take you there. That's one of the songs. But a lot of his songs is all like, he's talking about a one night stand. But it sounds so sultry.
Pretty.
Like, goodness gracious. It's like, okay, all right. But dang, bro, you talk about. But that's how it is. And that's like how we look at it. So I 100% agree. I don't think anything should not be spoke of in church or religious places. Cause I'm like, dude, you think the world out there isn't going to talk to your kids about it?
Right.
They're going to talk to kids about it, or they're going to experience it, and they're not going to have a north. You know what I'm talking about? They're not going to have a lighthouse or a standard because you never gave them one. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm like, dude, I'll talk everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also agree that it may need to go beyond. Yes, of course, in religion, it's intended for marriage, blah, blah, blah. Not blah, 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 but blah, blah, blah. But also it needs to go to beyond, like, but if this does happen, these are what condoms are, and this is how you don't get pregnant, and this and that. Because like I said, my talk was just, don't do it.
My talk was keep it in your pants.
Don't do it. It's a sin. And I mean, I didn't until I graduated high school.
Who told you it was a sin?
Well, they teach that in church.
Okay. Well, that's not really a talk. That's just like, it's adultery. Context would be all like adultery is a sin. Sex in itself isn't a sin. But the way you will receive it is be like, oh, well, I shouldn't be having sex.
Actual literal talk, I don't even think I got.
No, exactly. It was like, keep it in your pants. All I got was keep it in your pants. I'm like, when was the talk? It was all like, mom was all like, you better be keeping it in your pants. That was a talk.
The first time I got some kind of mention was, maybe I was like, it was right before I got pregnant. So I was like 18 or 19.
So the talk was bad. The mention was bad for you.
And it was only mentioned.
That's crazy.
No, it was only mentioned because I can't believe. Does Dad listen to every episode? It doesn't matter. It was only mentioned. I'm sure he doesn't remember this. He's going to be like, what? It was only mentioned because I remember it was the church anniversary. I had to like do all this stuff at church. We come home, I go in the room, and Dad's sitting on my computer with my partial nudes pulled up that I had emailed.
You did what?
That I had emailed to
a boy,
my son's father. And he was like, do you think this is what all those things people said to you and I at the church anniversary? Do you think this is what you should represent? And I was like, oh, crap. And then he was like,
he should have said, this is stupid. The internet is undefeated. And
there was not even any talk about it.
Nobody would say that at that time. But
and
still,
he
knew. He's a computer guy. These are going to be forever. Anybody can find these.
So have you had sex? And at this point, I was like, well, I'm technically an adult, so I might as well just be honest. And I was like, yes. And then he asked who I lost my virginity to. We're not going to talk about that on this episode.
Nobody even know what you said. What is it?
I know. That was on purpose.
You got to watch the YouTube to see what she did.
And so subscribe. At that point, I was honest. And then I got pregnant not too long after that. And my son's dad was only the third person I ever had. Yeah.
It's crazy how you put only in front of that, but go ahead.
Well, I say
it's crazy to me how you put only in front of that.
Yeah.
But you have different values, obviously.
I'm saying only because I got pregnant and it was literally only the third time I had ever
but still,
had intercourse.
This goes to the perspective, right? Oh, it's only the third person. The natural way should be like the first person is the only one
third
I've ever
person,
done it. You know what I'm talking about? You get what I'm saying?
Third time.
Do you get what I'm saying, though?
Yes.
And I'm saying people will be all like, oh, yeah, he's tripping. The first he's tripping. Like, what? It's only 3 people. But the perspective is all like, dude, if we actually adopted, like, yo, it's my body is the greatest gift I can give to somebody. So I'm just going to be far more aware of how I guard this gift before I give it up. If I'm letting you hold my hand, that's a big step. And I feel like if that was a perspective, it would be all like, oh my gosh, like 40-year-old version, like, oh, you putting the pill on the pedestal. It should be on a pedestal. So should your D. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest gift that you can give away. You know what I'm saying? But the perspective is like, nah, oh, I did it a couple of times. Like for me, I was trying to wait until marriage. I lost it at 18. Why are you making love? Come on now. Please. Everybody that knew me was all like, oh, and the first girl.
You were like 16.
I was 18. Tony, our cousin, he was all like, Zamar, people like 16 is usually when they is, because I was talking about it. He was all like, yeah, 16 is usually like around the time, because like you're a like I think he said sophomore, and that's like about age 16. In any
like my
case,
son.
I was 18, and it was for a stupid reason.
And you probably thought you were gonna marry her.
No, it was for a stupid reason that I did it. It was like I wasn't expecting it, actually, first off, and then it happened, and I was all like, huh. I even stopped at the store, and I was like, maybe I should buy condoms, and I was like, nah, because this type of stuff don't happen to me, because I've been in situations a lot where girls were like throwing it at me, but I was all like, nah, if they wanted it, they would say, hey, let's have sex. It's not the case. Now, game recognized game, I'm all like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? But thankfully, I wasn't on that level, because would have been way more active than I was. And I feel like I was too active already. Anyway, 18, it happened. And I was all like, all right. But I still wasn't out there like that, because I'm an emotional person. So it's better when emotions are involved. Drake 3000 was right.
Same.
But
I
yeah,
wasn't
like I
out
said,
there like that either.
The perspective.
And the person I lost it to was
things.
like, oh, trying to like be in a relationship. I was like, let's turn 18, bro.
That's crazy.
Nope.
So they were like, oh, well, I already got it, but now I want to put it on the pedestal. And he was all like, psh.
Because,
Peace.
And this goes back to not having a conversation, because there was no protection used and my cycle was late the very first time. And I had told him, and he was like, oh, well, we should just be It came, we're good, leave me alone. No, it wasn't like that.
Sure you weren't.
I was only 18. But yeah, I just feel like those conversations could, and I'm grateful for every single one of my babies, and I'm grateful for my journey.
Nice fix.
But there still needs to be a conversation. There's things like, there's just STDs out there. There's all kinds of different things. And there needs to be a better conversation than just don't do it because God said not to.
I agree. I read this book, Bringing Up Girls. I forgot the author, but it was great how it was this dad was all like, they gave their daughter a bracelet and it had rocks on it. And they were like, all these different rocks or gems or minerals represent a different thing. Like the first time you hold a boy's hand, you take off this rock, this mineral, and give it to him. And it was all like, from gold to diamonds, like the most valuable one. Obviously, the most valuable one was when you lose your virginity. And then it went from holding hands to losing virginity. First time you kiss, the first time you hug. And I was all like, that is such the perspective of that is really good, because holding hands is like, it's emotional. People can sit here and try to lie. Like, nah, bro. Like physical touch it's science. We know that it's science. When you have sex with somebody, your body remembers, like it's science. So that's a perspective of holding hands with you is special. You know what I'm talking about? Embracing you is special. Kissing you is special. So it's not something we're gonna do just because we're drunk, because then that's gonna minimize it. And if that's if that's how you're thinking, then how much more special is it when you do that with somebody? Like it's like, bro, like practical. And you can be all like, no, you just doing too much. It's like, no, because you want to do it. You want to blame excuses. You want to blame it on the alcohol. It's not because we're drunk. It's because we never experience this and we want to experience it. And that's a conversation to have. You're going to want to do certain things. You're going to want to do things that's out of order. But you ask yourself, will it feel more special if you and the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with are sharing that together for the first time? Or if you're out doing it with different people that you think you might spend together forever, but then, you don't. It's only been 2 months. It's only been 3 months. It's only been a year. So it's like, you need to ask yourself that, if the damage you are potentially putting yourself through, if you think it's going to be worth it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a practical approach to it, because it's all like, hey, I get it. We're human. We're going to make decisions, but count the cost before you make the decision.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and emotions definitely get involved. That's why the whole MomTok Mormon thing blew up, because someone's husband caught feelings. And then the Taylor Frankie Paul girl also caught feelings.
Exactly. That's
and
why.
So, of course, like,
practical. Look, this is the kind of stuff that happens.
That happens. I feel like there's a fine line between because there's the whole like, let women do them movement, which whatever, do what you're gonna do, but also you need to be real with yourself and realize that there's feelings involved. I don't think it's possible for women to just be out there being physical and not have feelings involved.
It's not possible for anybody.
They are, unfortunately, sex workers because they have to be, and then they're on drugs or because they want to be. But even still, I feel like there's emotion there. Unless they're numbing it. That's just my opinion. No shade to sex workers. You got to do what you got to do. But
I don't feel like you have to do that. There's people being trafficked that are kind of like trapped into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody has a choice. Like it's like no shade to McDonald's workers. You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, it's just like it's choices. It's a choice. It's not like, hey, it's gonna be hard to work at McDonald's or get a 9 to 5. It's gonna be hard to start your own business. Choose your hard. You know what I'm saying? And it's all like, it's not talking without consequences. It's taking consequences into consideration. It's like, well, what's more important to you? The easiness of the 9 to 5, but then you're accepting the stress stuff that comes with it, or the stress it'll take to build your own business, but then being able to own your time like later on. So it's just not like, make a choice, choose your heart.
It's also not just stress. You also need money to start a business. So sometimes you have to have a 9 to 5 to start your business.
That's fine. But I'm saying if it's like, oh, well, I don't have a choice. You always have a choice. That doesn't mean the choice is going to be easy.
But I even think that's case by case. But I want to go back to
you always have a choice.
What you're saying about the masturbation, because on the show too,
these Mormon women are on this show masturbating.
Relax,
dude.
No,
they are not Mormons.
They're influencers, and so products approach them. And there's this one girl named Whitney who's actually the worst. If you watch the show, Whitney Levitt, you are the worst. Anyways.
I don't know you, Whitney.
You're the worst. You take zero accountability, and your husband's gay. Anyway, so
I don't know you husband either. Like, we're just.
I'm gonna show you after this, and you're gonna be like, "Girl." There was a whole scandal with him on Tinder, and they were trying to make it sound like he was talking to girls, but then they were like, "Well, he was just confused with." Anyways,
Tinder and not Grindr.
Anyways,
is the one.
I know, but there's anyway.
I feel like that's a ridiculous name, by the way. Grindr. It just implies. Or is that the point?
No, it's Grindr.
That's why?
Yeah.
The name implies what you would think?
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. Because I've never been on it. But go ahead.
So a company approached her.
What's his name?
I bet you he know. Anyway, a company approached her and was like, hey, she didn't have to advocate for it. She could just post a picture with it, and it was going to pay her like $20K. She was like,
like a toy?
Yeah, a sex toy. She just has to post a picture with it, and then we're going to pay her $20K. And she was like, talking to her little Mormon friends, like, oh, what do you guys think? Whatever. And they were talking about how some of them use one. There was one young girl on there who had been married who's never experienced an orgasm in her life. And they were like, you need to use this.
A lot of women.
I know.
It's just crazy, bro. It's like, dude.
But so she goes, well, I have to tell my family. So she goes to talk to her mom about it. And it was like she's like grown, you know? And she's talking to her mom and her sister. And they're also kind of having a conversation like this. Like, she's the one who was like, Mom, my wedding night was, she said something out of a horror film is actually what she said. And then she backtracked.
Sounds dramatic.
And she was like, but I didn't know. And she's like talking to her mom about the whole sex toy thing. And her mom's like, I don't think you should post it. I don't think you should do it. And she was like, well, I want women to know, like, these are things that can spice up your love life with your partner. Even if you are Mormon, like, it's okay for you to.
Is it? I don't know the Mormon faith.
Use these things with your husband, blah, blah, whatever. So she ended up being like, Mom, I'm going to post it. Whatever. But even then, her mom
she was going to do it once they said $20K, but she was all like, ooh, this would be a good episode.
Well, no, she just said she wanted to give her mom a heads up before she posted it. That's what it was about.
Oh, okay.
But it just seemed like her mom was uncomfortable.
What mom wouldn't
like
be
in the conversation?
I think the average mother would be like, oh, I want to talk to you about sex. Like, what? Please.
Would they?
I mean, so now I don't, you know, our
Like she was an
mom,
adult.
our mom is like fine with it, but I feel like
That's what I'm
the
saying.
average mother is something that's called taboo. So even though it's 2024, there's still people that are like, oh, these are just things that you don't talk about. And because it's the mindset, I feel like that's a lie from the devil, please. The Bible says, come, let us reason. Make it make sense. But people be all like, oh, that's not dinner conversation. No, this is taboo, meaning we're not going to talk about that. But just because you don't talk about it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Right.
So that's like an idiotic approach. And again, I feel like it's a lot for the devil because there's an agenda. Like, oh, well, they won't talk to you about it. I'll talk to you about it. God don't want you to eat the tree. Well, let's talk about it. Why? Why is it? Say what's going on with that about?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's all part of the plan. I feel like it's ridiculous. I feel like beyond religion, I just feel like parents, instead of being outraged at programming on TV, raise your kids. So when they see programming and when they are exposed to these things, you can say, hey, I've given you the tools that you need to be a shepherd. In my case, it's a shepherd. I want to raise up shepherds. Okay, this is what you stand for as a shepherd. And according to who? According to me, the shepherd who's raising my child. Because then people be all like, well, who gave you that right? I did when I impregnated my wife with my child. Like, what in the world? I don't need to ask you no permission. Like, what? Get out of here. Someone's all like, listen, your teachers are to teach you education. I'm here to raise you. Me and your mom are here to raise you. So your teacher ain't raising you. And if she ain't doing what she's supposed to do, he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, let me know. Because they are accountable, just like I'll hold you accountable. And like I hold myself accountable. And then I can ask her, hey, do you see me hold myself accountable? Yeah. That's what us being consistent is about. It's ridiculous, bro. It's freedom. Freedom in Christ.
Freedom.
Societal norms, man. They ruin societies. Societal norms ruin societies. Quote me on that. Actually, if you say that, you owe me a nickel.
2 nickels. But yeah, I just want to talk about that.
But here's my question. What does like the Mormon faith say about toys in marriage?
Obviously they're fine with it, or she wanted it. That girl for sure is a hardcore practicing Mormon.
See, I don't know. Because from what I know, it doesn't seem like Mormons will put themselves out there like that, because it's all like
on TikTok. I mean, they're not
like a quiet life or something. They're not like that.
What's the other one?
But they're marketing themselves as like Mormons gone wild, right?
No, they're
that's not how they're marketing themselves.
They're just like, we're Mormon, but
they're swinging.
They're not swinging.
What was the story with Lucretia?
That was the whole scandal that made them get
what were the names?
Taylor, Frankie, Paul.
I was way off. Yeah.
That was the whole scandal that made them get a show, because Taylor came out and was like, this is the truth. But then people were trying to figure out which moms they were. So then her friends were kind of mad at her because she will just tell her piece. She's not going to say who the other people were involved.
But if you're swinging and you're okay with doing this, then you're not living the standard.
They're not okay with it.
You're not living the standard like of Mormons, and then they're swinging, and that's how they got the show. So the show was built off of
there was drama with that, but they're not okay with that. Their lives all blew up, and they all found their way back to the church to try to get their lives back together. It's not like they're still out there swinging.
You got that part out. No, I'm thinking that they were swinging, and then it was a lot of people found out about it, and then it was all like, it's okay, we're Mormon, we'll stop swinging. But you're making it seem like they were like, yo, okay, we messed up. We got to take our lives back to Mormonism or whatever.
Taylor's definitely like that. And she's been really vocal about how...
So it was more like a redemption story. They're
something like that. She's been really vocal about how it was messed up. There's more with this Taylor girl, though. She kind of hit rock bottom. But she is the only one who's been vocal about how it was messed up, about how she's living her truth, how she started therapy, all these things that she's doing to try to better herself.
So the message is, yes, we're Mormon, but we're still people who make mistakes.
I mean, sure. I'm not sure what the exact message is. Sure. I mean, maybe that's her message.
So, okay. Saying it seems like they're sensationalizing Mormonism as a woman, and then we're like Mormon women living on the edge. It seems like that's the brand. The ladies
who were on the show were not a part of the swinging thing. They're just a part of MomTok, so they're friends with her. But so she had that scandal, right? She gets divorced. She meets a man 2 months later who's also Mormon, who's a recovering drug addict. They get
Why
into...
are you shaking your head like that? Everybody has their own struggle.
They do. Because they... And she's obviously fresh off a divorce, right? Like 2 months. And so she's in this new relationship, which she definitely shouldn't be. And she's just drinking like a sailor. She's like, he doesn't drink. He doesn't do.
Excuse me.
Okay, I'm sorry, sailor.
All right. Okay.
Relax.
Okay. Thank you.
Relax. It's a saying. I didn't make it up, Navy man. Anyways, so she's just like, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work because he doesn't drink and he doesn't do it. And I like to drink. I'm going to get drunk tonight. And then they cut. I'm not laughing because this is her rock bottom. Okay. So they cut to later that night and the cops are there and she's drunk.
They edited it like that on purpose.
She's drunk out. No, it was actually that same night.
Yeah. They're like, and now cut to tonight.
She's drunk outside and she's like, I don't know. I was so scared. I literally pissed my pants. So I guess they got into a DV situation. And she's the one who ended up getting charged with DV and getting arrested. So then after that, the show picks up like a year later and she's like pregnant with this guy. But that was her rock bottom. And just watching.
She's pregnant and married to the guy?
They're not married. He wants to get married because they're Mormon. And she's like, I don't think that's a good idea because he's a little bit toxic. But also, it's been 2 months into your divorce. Why are you even with this person? But so because of that whole situation, she really actually started looking at her life and using her brain and trying to make a change. But the drama is her and this Whitney girl, who's the sex toy girl, who's the girl that sucks, is mad at her for all the bad choices she's made.
Oh, sucks as a person.
Yeah, as a person.
Okay, because you like said sex toy, then you went into that.
No.
So it's kind of like, I feel like if I was a Mormon, okay, let's just say that if this was like, oh, Christian people, and this is what they're doing.
Secret Lives of Christian Wives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I would be looking at this and I'll be all like, bro, I don't see the fruits of the spirit in this show. It's like the show Preachers of LA. A lot of people had a problem with Preachers of LA because it was all like, what are we like what are we selling here? These are the people that you're choosing to be the face of what people think of when they think of preachers. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people had a problem with it. I mean, I'm a feeling about it. I mean, I thought it was cool. Honestly, I didn't mind it. I like Dietrich Hatton for the most part. I feel like he's grown.
I didn't know he was a preacher.
And I feel like he's grown and he's matured like through the years. And it's like, well, you're growing and you're maturing, you're like, you know, on the TV. But to be branded as Mormon and all this drama is happening, it's all like, dude, this is not what the Mormon religion is about. You know what I'm saying?
But also, there's other Mormons out there, I guarantee you, going through stuff, though.
Correct.
And so, and they do also show things like they talk about their christening that they do and how they're not allowed to drink caffeine or alcohol. So their vice, the ones who are devout, their vice is soda. So there's a bunch of soda shops in Utah called Swig. And you can get all these different flavor sodas and they're like this big. And I'm like, okay.
It's a lot of sugar.
So much. So I'm like, you guys are definitely
not black because you'd have diabetes.
There's one. She's half white, half black. And people were coming for her, telling her she wants to be white.
Oh, she got 50% diabetes?
I was like, why are you guys so skinny? But they're like, we don't do drugs. We don't do blah, blah, blah. But then when they go get Botox, they'll do ketamine gas.
This is what I'm saying. That's like, yo, if you're going to be about that life, then be about that life.
But apparently, according in the religion, that's okay because they're getting a procedure.
Botox is a procedure. This is what I'm saying.
Just watch one episode.
Sensationalism. I will not support this debauchery that you're telling me about.
I don't know. I agree with you and disagree with you because if it's done right, which it's kind of, I don't know, a lot of people are, because I like to go peek on their TikToks and just check the temperature of the comments. And a lot of people are encouraging this Taylor girl because she had a really public like
falling out,
whatever you want to call it, you know, and she's trying to fix it. Now, if she was still just doing the same, you know, so I don't know. But I mainly just wanted to talk about that because I was listening to a podcast she was on, and how she was talking about how a lot of them never experienced anything. And I think that plays into it. But I also think it's their conversation's very similar to the Christian religion conversation of
it's anybody
don't
when
have
you're
sex.
sitting here making it seem like something's bad that somebody wants to go to, but it's like, okay, let's just keep it real. Listen, this is the thing. If you do it outside of these confines, then this is what's most likely this is what's going to happen. The reason why you want to wait to do it outside of these confines is because all this drama that happens outside of here won't really happen if it's inside of here, because it's just between the two of you versus all these other people that you got to deal with, or something along those lines. Like, nobody's saying that it's bad. I went to a retreat and the guy, he was like, nah, sex is a gift from God. At the time, I was all like, what? Because I haven't heard that. You know what I'm talking about? Because again, it's taboo. But it goes beyond that. It's like you got culture and then you got Christianity. So what are you going to live? If you're going to sit here in the pulpit and speak the truth, we're going to speak the truth. We're not going to single any one person out or single any one sin out, because that's not what the Bible does. That's not what the Bible says. It says like, yo, the bottom line is this. If you're professing to be a Christian, then that means you look like Christ. I'm not talking about the status of your soul, if you save or not. But if you're saying, hey, I'm a Christian, does your life reflect what the Bible says a Christian is? Or are you just saying, well, I go to church on Sunday and I go to church on Easter and New Year's, therefore I classify as a Christian? That's where it's like a religion. So you got like a personal relationship, or you just have a religion. Like, people that are devout, like, we can have a conversation about it, because you're not going to get upset and be all like, oh, it's like, nah. It's like, okay, all right, well, let's expound on that. At the end of the day, it's going to be all like, okay, it's enlightening the conversation about, two different people. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like the one way is Jesus. That doesn't mean that I hate you if you don't feel like that. But if you don't live like that, you don't live like that.
Right.
But don't put Christ's name on your life if you're not like living like Christ. If you feel like, well, my Christ can do well, that's not Christ. That's not how he lived. He was here on the earth. He lived. So that is evidence. So that's not Christ. Call it whatever you want to call it, but that's something else. It sounds similar to me.
I've never heard anyone say my Christ.
Yeah. Well, Jesus, for me, when I think about Christ, well, usually they say it about God. It's like, well, this is my way to God. This is my way to God. My way to God is heroin. Yep. It's thievery.
What?
That's thievery. You know what I'm saying?
Stop it.
But but honestly, it's like, dude, you're perverting Christianity and trying to call it something else. And with this show, to be honest with you, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. Like, I haven't done like an in-depth study about like Mormonism, but I have seen a documentary. Did you see a documentary, Leaving Mormon? And it's about the girls that were best friends and they fell in love with each other. They were like both married, and they were Mormons. They were married. It's a documentary. And then they ended up being together with each other. And like, it's like the one.
Is this that Twin Flame one?
No, it's not Twin Flames. And this one girl talks like, like her husband should understand. And it's all like, damn it, who cares if he understands or not? This man was married to you for
What's
this
it
long.
called?
And you went and had an adulterous affair.
Wait, this is a real life.
This is real life. And you like want him to like understand and be cool with it. Dude, that's going to take some time to heal. You have kids together, and now the whole unit has been like blown up.
She was expecting to just be
and
like,
it's all
I'm
like,
leaving, and he should be fine.
I just wish he could like be cool with it. And it's all like, if he's never going to be cool with it, dude, he signed up.
That's unrealistic.
To marry the woman who he thought you were. And it's all like, yeah, I don't want you because you're a man. And then I want this woman. And then it's like, well, shoot, all the interactions that you've had before, like, when did y'all start falling in love? So it's like, there's a lot of damage and trauma there that I just felt like it was selfish of her.
What's it called?
To say that. It was like, I think it's leaving. It's not leaving Mormonism, because I don't think they left. Yeah, leaving.
They definitely left.
Like
I can't see the Mormon church being tolerable of that.
Was. But, it was more of that stuff. It was all like, I just had to do a lot of repressing and stuff like that. I want to say like 13 years. That's what comes to my mind. But it was like a while. And it was all like, well,
13 years?
That they like knew each other.
No.
Friends
I'm saying, how long had it been when she left to her being like, I don't understand why he's not just fine.
I don't know. I don't think under 5 years. I know it hadn't been like 5 years. It was still pretty fresh. It was long enough to where
Yeah.
he moved out and she moved in with the girl, and like the kids was like staying with her and the other girl, which I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know the conversations that they had. But
I want to watch that. Please find the name of it.
it's on Showtime. It won't be hard
Ooh.
to find.
I don't think I have that.
Well, if you have Paramount Plus,
A Max.
that's attached to show. It's the same thing. They're like all connected now. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
Paramount Plus or Disney, depending on the Disney Plus that you have.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's just being real. It's like, hey, listen, be yourself, but you got to figure out who yourself is.
well, you also can't regulate, delegate, or have opinions on how someone else is dealing with something or grieving or adjusting. As long as they're not physically hurting you, you have to just let them go through their process. Also,
I feel like you just said the same thing I said.
well, yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Also, I really never looked into Mormonism either because I just always heard they were racist. So,
yeah, isn't Mitt Romney Mormon?
Except for that Layla girl,
I don't need to know nothing else.
She's half black, half white, and she's like, she put herself in the religion when she was like 12. So she did a TikTok video the other day because she wears her hair how they wear their hair, and I guess people were trying to come for her, and she was like doing the whole thing. I'm proud of my black side, and I'm proud of my white side, and I'm not the token black girl, and okay.
Well, not talking like that.
You live in Utah, and
That's
she
culture.
low-key could be, he could be passing. Let me roll up there and let's see how they act. Please.
It's culture. I think it's I don't know if it's Mormon or Jehovah's Witnesses, but the way they see black people. Who's John Smith? That's Mormons. Is that Mormons?
Mm-hmm.
Latter-day Saints.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's a couple. It's a couple of them where it's just all like, yeah. Mitt Romney's a Mormon, so I feel like he's devout though. When he was upset, he was cussing out Obama. His version of cussing out Obama in that debate. It was like, you're obviously uncomfortable, but you still don't want to be mean or whatever. I feel like that's. Maybe I should watch the Book of Mormon. I never watched that. South Park. You made her sound way more Valley Girl. She's on the show. How old is she?
Like 22.
She looks very young.
Because she is. She's 22. She has 2 kids, and she just went through her first divorce. She had a divorce party on the show.
She just went through her first.
She's only 22. I'm sure she's going to. Oh, sorry. She went through a divorce.
Sheesh. That's how you see it. She hasn't even done her second divorce yet. So I don't even
came
know.
out like that.
Wow.
I meant to say
Who
ended
hurt
her
you?
first marriage is what I meant to say.
Okay.
That's funny. But yeah, so I don't know.
Is divorce funny? Oh, wow.
Shut up. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting in listening to the podcast. I wish little Miss Taylor Frankie Paul the best. I hope she's able to get her life together because she has 3 babies now. And I think she's on the right path. Whitney, I hope she steps her pinky toe. And all the other girls are kind of cool.
I wish none of them any kind of pain.
Do you remember that whole TikTok thing where that girl's baby was in the hospital because he had RSV and she was dancing?
Yeah.
That's Whitney.
Really?
Yes.
Did you have a problem with that video?
Because I thought it was funny.
I was all like, dude, why are people will find any reason to come
like,
after you?
Why
Like,
is
oh,
that?
so you're going to just dance by your baby's like, bro, I'm pretty sure she's stressed enough.
It was funny
about the
to
situation.
Me.
Yeah, it was. And then you read the comments.
And she didn't mean for it to be funny either, but I was like, because she's like, my baby has RSV. Like, I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was too. And then I read the comments and I was all like, people are always going to try to come for you. You just said people handle things the way they handle things. Yeah, let her handle it the way she gonna handle it. Like, it's not your baby.
She did admit on the show when she was under her little ketamine that it was when she was trying to build up her following, so she did it for clout, and that's why a lot of people were mad because they were like, "You're dancing next to your baby for clout." She's like, "I just wanted clout," and
I would have said, "So what? It's my baby."
I secretly hate Taylor because people forgave Taylor for soft swinging, but nobody will forgive me for dancing with my baby in the hospital, and I'm just jealous about that. Like, what?
Kudos to her for being real. One.
On accident, because she was under the influence of the freaking gas they be taking.
And two, like, yeah, she has a point.
That ain't Taylor's fault, though.
It's not Taylor's fault, but it's all like, dude, I don't even know why she would apologize for that. It's all like, it's my account, it's my phone, it's my baby, it's my situation. I'm going to deal with it however I want to deal with it. And if you did it to build up followers, it's like, well, let me try to make the best out of a bad situation. Yeah. Like, what did the baby lose? The baby was sitting there with RSV. They're gonna be sitting there with RSV, regardless if the mom is sitting there dancing or not. Like, dude, stupid. Like, bro, like what? Like, come on, like, what are we really talking about? You just want to have something to be outraged about, man. People
have been making the video now, and they were like dancing, and somebody was laying in the background, and they were like, he just fell down the stairs. He's bleeding out his head. I'm gonna call the ambulance in a minute.
But see, that's not even the same situation.
Right.
But that's exactly, you're taking it like that, but we're in the hospital.
Yeah.
The baby's being treated in the hospital. You should be sitting here crying and I'm like, you know what? Don't try to tell me how to act, bro. Get out of here.
It's funny. But anyways, all the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives drama to say,
it ain't even a secret.
The point was
everybody know the drama.
Their inexperience and whatnot, and how it led them to that crazy blow up of all those lives just made me think of that. So that was my tea for the day. Do you have anything else to add?
No, you've talked very long enough about.
Very long enough.
You need to bring some better tea.
Ew, don't play with me. I think that was an important topic to talk about.
Why did you say ew?
You need to talk to your kids about sex.
We should talk about how good The Wild Robot is. Well, movie of the year.
We're not a movie review podcast, so.
I will start one, though. Within a year.
All your time needs to be right here with Deuces. Thank you.
It already is. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So remember to follow us on all the socials. The link tree will work shortly. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. And you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. So Apple Podcasts, Audible, iHeart,
download,
Spotify,
download,
everywhere.
Subscribe and download.
So make sure you subscribe here. Drop some comments. Let me know. Did you watch Did you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
And if so, why?
That's what I say why I did it, because I like reality TV. And that's what I watch when I want to dissociate from the world. So that's why I was watching it.
It's not that dissociated from the world, though.
From my world.
It's everybody else's drama.
Correct.
You ain't gonna worry about your drama.
There you go.
All right.
And on that note, should we say deuces?
Very good. Much better.
Thank you. Growing over here every day.